Top 10 Essential Skills and Habits You Need to Work with Others. There are numerous essential skills and habits you need in order to work well with others. Developing the proper habits early on helps put you on track to things like higher pay and leadership opportunities. Since more and more companies are making the decision to hire within, these things are more important than ever before. Number 1. Take responsibility. It's always important to take responsibility for things that you do, especially when something goes wrong. No one is perfect. All but a few unrealistic employers realize that. If you make a mistake and claim that it wasn't your fault, not only are you not telling the truth, you're also giving the impression that you weren't in control of the situation. By taking responsibility, you'll probably notice two things. Firstly, your coworkers will likely be more willing to help you correct the problem and help you to succeed. Secondly, these same individuals will be more comfortable around you, knowing that you are honest and will never place the blame on someone else. Number 2, keep an open mind. Even in situations where you know you are 100% correct, it's always advisable to keep an open mind. This is especially true when you happen to be in a managerial position. Why? If you're never open to new or alternate ideas, you may come across as someone who knows it all. When this happens, people typically get defensive very quickly and it's downhill from there. It's much more productive to show a little bit of humility and concern about truly finding the right answer for every issue and situation. Because everyone has a different problem-solving process, teamwork really has the potential to resolve issues and come up with great ideas much faster. Number 3, honor your commitments. Always try to allow enough time to complete projects in a timely manner, even when something unexpected comes up. It's much better to give yourself more time than necessary to finish whenever you're working on, rather than to underestimate the time needed to complete the assignment. This way, you don't have to worry about disappointing your employer or your colleagues. Go the extra mile. Always follow up on things, whenever possible. This accomplishes two things. 1. It strengthens workplace relationships. 2. It provides you with important feedback regarding your performance. Number 4. Practice proper hygiene. Regardless of whether you're working with the public or in a back office, practicing proper hygiene is essential when you work with others. No one wants to be around someone who smells bad or looks like they slept in their clothing. This doesn't mean you have to dress like the rich and famous. It simply means to shower daily and come to work looking and smelling presentable. If you're on a tight budget, consider purchasing clothing at local thrift stores. You can pick up great deals on clothing that's perfectly suitable for work. These stores typically stock a wide variety of business attire at fantastic prices. You just have to be there at the right time, which is on the days that the store gets deliveries. Number 5, share credit. When applicable, sharing credit with your coworkers is a sure sign that you work well with others. Not only will that person or individuals like you even more than they did before, you'll probably gain a higher level of respect as well. On the other hand, if you don't share credit when credit is due, you'll gain a reputation as someone who is selfish and out to sabotage everyone else in an attempt to get ahead. If you happen to get away with this without anyone complaining, don't waste your time celebrating. In reality, the truth usually prevails and you won't get ahead, you may just find yourself in the unemployment line instead. Number 6, don't interrupt. Have you ever been in the middle of a conversation only to be constantly interrupted? It's annoying, isn't it? For that reason, never be the interrupter. Even if you have a great idea that you can't wait to share, wait until it's your turn to talk. Take a deep breath and relax. You'll be sharing your news or idea before you know it. Here's a little secret. There are individuals who aren't all that impressed when you talk, regardless of how fantastic your idea. These people would much rather talk about themselves. So, when you let them do the talking first, it's a good way to get them to love you. After that, they may be all the more receptive to what you say. Number 7, smile. The act of smiling is often referred to as a person's most powerful gesture. Science can back up the fact that individuals who smile often are not only happier, they're more successful as well. Even better, smiling doesn't cost you a penny. It's free to smile and watch the world, or at least the people you work with, smile right back at you. It's interesting to note that some training modules for phone-related customer service positions requires agents to keep a small mirror by their phone. This way, the agent can make sure they're smiling when they speak to the customer. Believe it or not, the person at the other end of the receiver can usually hear the smile in the agent's voice. It makes for a much more pleasant interaction between the two, and many times higher sales. Number 8. Don't be a noisemaker. In the event your employer allows you to listen to music or something similar, don't be a noisemaker. Wear headphones or keep the volume at a non-distracting level. Remember, not everyone will have the same taste in music as you do. If your coworkers don't enjoy what they hear, you'll probably make it more difficult for them to concentrate and get their job done properly. The time to make noise is after the workday is done, unless you're a rock musician or an auctioneer. Number 9. Respect boundaries. Your job might require you to share a space with your coworkers, whether it's a cubicle, office, or vehicle. If you are near others while you work, make sure that you respect their boundaries and encourage them to respect yours in return. Try not to have phone calls about non-work related matters if your cubicle mate is quietly focused on a project. Also, try not to divulge too much about your personal life, because this may be too much information for some people. These boundaries will differ from person to person, so if you aren't sure if your behavior is going to annoy your coworker, it may be best to ask first. Number 10. Learn to let go. Once you've had a dispute with a coworker, it can be difficult to get your relationship with them back to a state where you can work together effectively. If the dispute has been resolved, the best thing that you can do is move on to focus on work. Of course, your coworker will have to focus on letting go too. If they still seem upset over the issue, see if they're willing to talk about it. If they tell you why they're still not satisfied after the dispute was settled, do what you can to make things right between the two of you. If problems persist between the two of you, it may be best to inform your boss or supervisor.